People talk about this stat like, oh, he hasn't been dribbled past, blah, blah, blah. Bro, that is the most absurd stat I've ever heard of. I think it's the stupidest thing that you can use. I think it's horrible, and I'll tell you
But
why.
how can you have a pony and waves at the same time?
Yeah, fair enough. The guy's peng. I didn't say he's ugly. I just said he's a shit defender. Tell me this.
Shit defender?
Yeah, he's a shit defender.
Welcome back to the A.K.A. podcast. A.K.A. my two brothers have been replaced by two Pakistanis. Okay. I'll do a quick introduction for the both of them. Firstly, we invited the biggest Manchester United fan I know, the most controversial, with the top ball knowledge, but Ahmed Noon could not make it today, so we've got Ayaan and Aarish. Ayaan, how long have you been supporting Manchester United for? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Supporting it United. See, there's two levels to this. There's like supporting United just because it's like the cool thing to do, or I've been told by my cousin to support them. That's like 2007-8. But I think properly watching football and trying to understand parts of it, like 2012, 2013, basically as soon as shit started to go downhill.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we'll get into that later. I mean, you're lucky we're doing the podcast right now rather than earlier in the season. This is a bit more fortunate for you. But first, let me introduce the second person, brother of Ayaan. That's not all you are, but the first Pakistani to probably support Manchester City and not grow up in Manchester. And
I'll take that.
It's like, oh, Ali.
Happy to be here, man.
How long have you been a Man City fan? 2 years?
It's a good one, actually. It's a really, really good one. So I've been a Man City fan since I knew Ayaan was a United fan, right? So what I did as a kid, I just went for the rival team of Ayaan. And since then, it's been love.
So Ayaan, you've shaped his personality, basically. Everything about him.
Everything about him is based off me.
So,
can I just say, by the way?
Yeah, what?
A.K.A. Ahmed Karam Amr, Ayaan Karam Aarish.
Oh, I tell you what, I've replaced my two brothers with two other brothers, both with the initials A and A. So, I mean, it just works perfectly. So that's why I've done it. I actually knew, it's crazy. I knew I was doing that before this even happened. That was always the plan.
It's not like we told you to bring Arish on the pod like last minute.
That's okay. Tell me about how you've been feeling about Manchester United. How did you feel in the beginning of the season versus how you're feeling now?
Bro, to be honest, the beginning of the season, it was really shaky. Like I'm in between. I like to think I'm pretty level-headed with this whole manager, change the manager, sack him, or bring on a new one, trust the manager, whatever. But I've seen time and time again where you sack the manager after you've given him a few players that he's asked for, but the underlying squad itself is still the same from the previous one. And then when they're not performing to the current manager's ability or the standards, you sack him. And then it's just a constant cycle that you're repeating. So before this season, I was like, stick with Ruben Amorim, no matter what. Last season was just, it was a dead season. We don't count it. Let him tinker with the squad, take it as it is, whatever. This season, when it started, I was like, okay, now it doesn't make as much sense because there's two things that United did differently. One, you gave him good players, right? And not just good players. You gave him players that are prem proven. You know, I think a lot of the United's previous transfer history is like, okay, you hear the biggest superstar, and you're like, you throw 150 million at him, right?
Right.
This time, it's like, okay, we're trying to shy away from getting just a global superstar phenomenon. You know, like typically United last summer would have signed Bellingham. With no understanding of where you want to play him, they'd sign Bellingham, they play him in the 6. You know, just like they did Pogba. This time, you sign Cunha, you sign Mbeumo, these players who like the ball, who drive it forward. This time they've tackled where they need to actually fix things. And now it seems like things are starting to click. Players are actually starting to get on board.
Early in the season, were you Amorim out after you lose DOS to Grimsby?
I was okay. Let me clarify. I was not Amorim out. I was not Amorim out, but I was Amorim. You need to change something ASAP, because whatever it is, like I can appreciate a manager sticking to his guns and like I die by the sword, you know? But at the same time, it's like he's killing himself, bro. Like you're
Yeah,
sacrificing
going in
you're
press conferences. I'm
like
not going to change anything.
you're not you're belittling yourself. You keep undermining your own players, you know? Like it's not like your players aren't trying. There are players who are trying. Maybe some, maybe not all, but there are players who are trying. I think it clearly is a system malfunction that's not working. So you not even trying to adapt. No one's saying change your 3-5-2 or your 3-4-2-1 into a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-4. We're not saying have a drastic change, but just tinker things a little bit to cater a bit more to the players who you know aren't super like that your direct signings. You know what I mean?
I tell you
So
what. Now I need you to give me a prediction, Arsh. I'm actually going to start with you first, just to get your
Go on,
opinion
yeah.
on it. Where is Man U finishing this season?
I've heard a lot. My roommate's also a United fan, so we talk about Man United a lot. And he's
Risky.
someone that does not believe in Amarim. He does not believe in top four this season, and he does not believe that this stint that they're going on is going to continue. Right? I think.
Am I
I think
asking for
Amarim's-
your roommate's opinion or your opinion right now?
I'm
Okay.
getting there. I'm getting there. I think he's a decent manager. I don't see them getting top four. I could see Manchester United finishing around the 6th to 8th position in the Premier
You
League.
know
this
what? Generally, like, how many teams to get a 10-place improvement, between seasons?
Of course, yeah, it's a big improvement.
It would be a huge improvement. How about you, Ayaan?
I'm gonna say they're gonna fight for top four. They might fall just short of it, 5th place probably, right? Maybe 6th, but I do think they have a shot at top four, and I'll tell you why. I think the biggest problem, and you both, if you've watched United, you have to agree with me here, is that United in big games can come clutch. They can pull off an upset, right? They might go into a game where everyone expects them to get thrashed. They might come away with a draw, or they might even pull off a win.
Yeah.
It's what comes after that where United struggle. It's the games where they're expected to win. The games where they're expected to come away with 3 points is where they just capitulate. They forget how to kick a ball.
But doing a competitive game against a top 6 club every once in a while, if you're not consistently beating those lower teams, like that's where your league position comes from.
That's where you win leagues. Yeah, exactly.
Which is why this time, granted, we're filming this after what not they drop points to Nottingham. Realistically, they drop points, but I think Liverpool and then having that 2 games where they beat Brighton and they beat Sunderland, that stuff is something to take note of. Like it's a step in the right direction. So I think, and Nottingham, realistically, everyone is blowing this United draw to Nottingham out of proportion because of that brother that has to cut his hair. Like they just think 5 games in a row. If you were to look at where we were in the beginning of the season, losing to Grimsby and getting thrashed by other teams, and then you say, okay, you're gonna beat Liverpool, and then you're gonna go on a 3-game run. You're out of 4 games in October, you're gonna win 3, draw 1. You take that with open arms.
You know what it is?
So what are you saying though? Wait, what position are we saying?
Top 4, 4th or 5th, 4th or 5th. 5th is the bottom.
Wow.
You know what I'm going to say about you? I'm going to say that, look, the past Amarim has had, right? The biggest issue with him is inconsistency, right? He's had some great games. Arsenal, even City last season. Like, he's done really well against certain teams. His issue was consistency because the next 3 games after that, he's losing. I think this past stint, the past month, those four games, 5 games even, considering their performance, you can see a change in the players, right? I saw, I think it was Roy Keane or another pundit that was mentioning, like, there's a confidence in this squad now. And I think Amarim's signings of people that have done it in the Prem, big players like Cunha and Mbeumo, I think that's critical because you don't have the adjustment period that we're kind of seeing with Wirtz at Liverpool, right? Or Frimpong, where these big players, you're expecting them to hit the ground running, but maybe they're not used to the Prem, they're not used to the lifestyle, so it's just a little bit of a change. But with Mbeumo and Cunha, I think Mbeumo is leading their attack, leading their team right now, and I think it's definitely there's a good hope in United fans with the things we're working on.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm gonna say is I don't have too much to add on. I'm probably also gonna predict 6th to 8th. I think it's for the same reasoning, which I believe that your league position really comes down to what you can do against the smaller teams and more about the big teams. Like, it's nice to get 3 points against Chelsea, but if you lose your next two games coming against Sunderland, granted Sunderland looking great this year, and you're losing your next game against another team that's on the bottom half of the table, like Brentford, like you're always going to see a situation where your team's going to struggle. Anyways, 6 to 8. But to be honest with you, I would see 8 to 10 in lots of other seasons. But how shaky all of the Prem teams look this season on the upper half of the table, where it looks like they're all losing games left and right. I think I would have gone 8 and 10 in a different season, but I'm going to go 6 and 8, and I'm not the biggest fan of Amarim.
I have a question for you guys. So, more specific for Ayaan, right? Considering last year's performance, do you look at a 6th, 7th, or 8th position place this year and think, oh wow, Amarim's done a good job? Or are you still disappointed because Man United is not where they're meant to be?
No, he's definitely done a good job. Definitely done a good job. But I think it's this is where the predicament comes in, right? We're gonna shy away from football for a second. We're gonna look at baseball. Blue Jays versus Dodgers. Yeah, just hear me out. It's like hear me out, bro. Chill. I haven't even said anything.
Come on, bro. It sounds like you're trying to bring back the trauma. Why are you trying to do this to yourself?
Yeah, let's not talk about it.
It's not the Blue Jays fans.
It's when you have, let's say you go into a season expecting your team to not do anything, right? You're not expecting them to do anything. Realistically, that was United. That was United fans. Some of us were thinking, yeah, this club is just shambles. United equals Blue Jays. Okay, and then
Well, you're not getting to the final of anything. Just hope you know that. You're not touching no finals.
Well, they did last season and we saw what happened.
But what I mean to say is you come, if Amarim shows us that, let's say he's consistently fighting for top four. That's that third, fourth place for the entirety of for the remainder of the season, and then we drop to like 6 to 8, like you guys are saying. Then, from looking back from last year or last season, it's like, okay, it's still a much better, it's still a good improvement. But what would be annoying is that the fact that you've clearly shown that you can fight for these positions. You can fight here. So dropping below that fighting position would be annoying. It'd be like, okay, why did we do that? Like that's where we went wrong.
I get you. I get you. The hope that kills you. You know what I'm saying? You would have taken it before the start of the season, but it's the hope that kills you. To be honest, we could easily make a whole 1 hour app talking about Manchester United, but we've got other segments that we want to do.
Biggest club in the world, mate.
We're gonna. I would ask Arish about Man City, but it's a bit boring, isn't it? Like, it's not listen to that. Yeah.
No. I'm gonna say something about City. I think I'm disappointed with certain games, but I'm not shy of the title fight. It's happened before. Arsenal have fumbled before, and I think it's possible. I'm not gonna say it's not possible. I'm not gonna say Arsenal's won the league. I think there's a chance. There's a hope.
Well, Man City.
Man. I mean, like Man City fans acting like, we're gonna fight for this one, bro. You're bored of the titles, like, we're gonna have a season for us. Yeah.
Game today, craziest stat was Man City's next highest goal scorer after Haaland is Maxime Esteve from Bournemouth. Burnley, for scoring 2 own goals. Realistically, Man City is Haaland, Donnarumma, and 9 other guys. Guys.
I credit to Pep for adjusting the system in a way that I think has actually helped Haaland even more. To be honest, Haaland's been improving.
I don't think it's a bad thing on the other players. I think it's just credit to Haaland for just being incredible, the best player in the world.
Yeah, I don't agree with the best player in the world. We don't gotta talk about it. We don't gotta talk about it. Talk about it different time. Okay, listen. So the first segment we will be doing is most overrated XI. Hammer's also sent his in, my brother, of course. So we'll be going each of us. Question is first, who do we want to start? The way that we're going to do this, just very, very quick clarification, is we're going to stay silent as someone names out their team if we agree with it. The second we disagree, that's when we talk. It's kind of basically stay silent until you find something, or else we're going to be going on for a very long time. Try to just drop like a one-liner as to why someone specifically you consider them to be overrated. And overrated can be determined based off anyone's explanation. So overrated could just mean an all-time overrated in terms of where people usually rate them in terms of their status all time, or it could just be right now you believe that their levels overrated because of what they've done in the past and people still think they are that player. Again, it's going to really just come down to interpretation. Overrated is a weird concept in itself. Who do you guys want to start?
Let's start with Almer, just because he
Yeah,
doesn't have.
Amr.
Okay, so I'll just say it, and he's got his reasonings here. So if you got pushback, he's got the reason. He's gonna push back at you. So first, Amr wants to let it known that he's doing this taken a lot on based off how people rate them. That's how he's done it. He's looking at how people rate them, which is I think the typical definition of overrated. So I don't know why he's mentioned that. You know what I'm saying? Awfully. Okay, first he's got in keeper Ederson, all time overrated. Think his ball carrying carried, and I feel a better shot stopping keeper would have got them more UCL success earlier. Done.
All right.
Arish, Man City fan.
Is there going to be pushback? No. I think Ederson was a great servant for the club. I think his distribution has literally won us games, right? And it's changed goalkeeping, right? However, I do think in terms of shot stopping, certain blunders, he's not the best goalkeeper, right? He's the best at distribution for sure, and he has done some mistakes that cost us. And I think the comfort that City fans feel now with Donnarumma just shows you, and like that's a testament to how Ederson might have been slightly overrated. Like just in Brazil, for example, like Alisson, I think clears Ederson. And that's no disrespect to Ederson. I think he's a good keeper.
I promise you, no one believes Ederson's better than Alisson. There's not one better.
Yeah, but like I think he's still a good keeper.
You can go to favelas. Someone's watched football once, and he will tell you Alisson's better than Ederson. So I don't know.
Nah, the fellas might like Ederson, bro. He's got that flair in him. He's got the tats. He's got the vibes. You know.
Hey, I think. Well, I'll just ask one question about the Ederson thing. Do you agree with Amir's statement that maybe you guys shouldn't have been so hell bent on having a goalkeeper good with his feet, and you might have preferred to have a goal shot keeper? Now, Donnarumma is a pretty extreme case because we consider him to be one of the best in the world right now. You know, the guy who's signed.
Yeah. We can look at Ortega. Genuinely, I feel like when I watch Ortega in net, like that FA Cup campaign he had, where I think it was the treble season where he was the only one that played FA Cup. He was incredible in that. He was incredible. And I think it's a bit of Pep's stubbornness, which I love, but he wanted that and it worked for him, right? We can't say it didn't work. It did work. And yeah, we're trying new with Donnarumma. I think he's also incredible. He's got great distribution. I think he's probably one of the best keepers in the world right now. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
Okay. Next, we have Balde, Barcelona player. Amr believes that because he's globally regarded as the second or third best left back in the world, but he's still a very raw left back. I actually have no pushback towards him.
I don't have pushback either. I thought about him.
Pushback.
Okay.
But no, yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So next one, Sergio Ramos. Let me finish Amr's explanation, and then if you don't say anything if you don't have pushback, but if you do have pushback, then say it. I think before Ronaldo left, his actual defensive game was incredibly dodgy and he was way too attacking. His moments make him, in many eyes, the best centre back of all time, which I can't stand by because the best centre back of all time got to be better defensively. However, as he got older, he improved a lot defensively. So I'm not saying that you disagree he's overrated or not when you're pushing back. Do you disagree with Amir's statement that he's not in contention? Like, Amir doesn't believe he's in contention for best centre back of all time. Do you believe he is?
I think he is.
Okay, I don't think we need to go too much into it because you believe he's a better defender.
Yeah, I was gonna just say that. Like his statement overall isn't horrendous. I'm on board with that statement. I just think he's downplaying his Ramos's defensive presence in that Madrid team and for that squad and that legacy he has left for them in general. I think he's slightly better, so he is in those conversations.
I agree completely. I think that Ramos's role as a defender coming up, attacking so much, I don't think that's a tribute to his bad defending. I think that just complements his game otherwise. Because I have a defender that's really attacking as well, and we'll get into that. And I think he's more of like, yeah, you're defensively like not there, bro.
Yeah, I'll just say that I think growing up watching all the El Clásicos specifically and watching Messi destroy him can distort the memory of him. So Amr might just remember that.
But I think that saying that is fair, but you also can't who hasn't been torn apart by Messi?
Yeah, I'm just saying more of Amir's reasoning as to say, because I
Guardiola.
don't know if I really agree with it. Yeah, Guardiola, it's foreign, but he's not that good. I'm joking. Okay, Amir's next player was Tap Soba. Yeah, that was at Leverkusen. Okay, let me I'll explain why just really quickly because dude, I can't lie. Like, it'll take a very long time to push back all of them. But I basically say, Amr and I, when he was linked to Barcelona at the time, and we watched a highlight reel, and this brother, on my mother's life, I swear, he was playing like injured Umtiti. Like I tell you, you know when you pull up a guy's highlight reel and you expect something, wow. All my life, he looked post World Cup Umtiti. That's how
Oh
bad.
my
Like
days.
I was literally doing tackles and just falling. It was weird. It was wild. Anyways, that's just Amir's odd take. Next one is Frimpong. Amir acknowledges not many people rate him right now, but based off his insane hype from Leverkusen.
Yeah, I'd say that he's like. I mean, I'm on board with that.
Yeah. Okay. Now centre mid Bellingham. Now I just listen. I don't want you guys to say overrated or not. I want to see Amir's statement. Amir's saying he's overrated because people think he's better than Pedri. Do you believe he's better than Pedri? That's harsh.
No.
I think
As
that's
a
what Amir's
football,
saying. But then Amir said, if you're gonna play Bellingham as a 10, he does not get in the England team right now. Amir's saying in the England system, in their best 11, Amir believes he should be playing as an 8. But I said, and in England system, Cole Palmer should be there.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. I think
But yeah, I agree with that purely because of that's. I think it's less about how good or bad Bellingham is. It's more about which options are more suited to that thing.
Yeah.
To that
I
thing.
think it's clear by just saying England's number 8s right now, if you just consider Declan Rice to step out of that role for England and play like more of the 6 or something, like if you look at the competition Bellingham has at the 8 versus the competition he has at the 10, it doesn't make
For sure.
tactical sense.
Sure.
to be
Exactly.
playing.
Yeah.
Amr just then thrown in for his camp. So he's gone for a Cam and another sentiment I'll mention later. He said Dybala because he's just a Lang. He thinks people overrated him because he's Lang. I agree.
I've seen a lot of takes calling Dybala overrated. I think he's got the best highlight clips. You know what I mean? So people fall in love with him. But like consistency, he didn't do shit for Argentina. He barely even played.
Yeah.
Kind of like maybe even a journeyman, you could say.
Yeah.
Guys.
But I think he's still a class player, but I don't think he's the level of like certain.
Yeah, like you don't have a time where you're just looking at the guy and you're like, I mean, of course he just didn't win a Champions League. You know what I'm saying? That's just a factor. But I actually don't know how high people rate him. I think that's more just something.
Yeah.
Is it that they rate him highly, or is it that they just they reminisce about his time at Juventus a lot more
People
than
love him. People just love him as a player, and as a result, Amr believes he's overrated. But
I think he's Lang. Good celebration. That thing took over, bro. That took over.
Like he's crying, leaving Juventus, all that stuff.
No, I think he was exceptional at Juventus. Like he was mental,
yeah, he was
first class, and I think that only changed. Like he's my goal, but when Ronaldo came in, you had to suppress Dybala a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because you're no longer playing through him, for him, with him type thing. So overrated, I don't know, but it's not ridiculous.
Center mid Tielemans. Amr just believes the guy never plays good footy. Okay. Striker.
Ooh.
Wait. Just. Do you actually have that much pushback on Tielemans? Like, are you like? Let's be harsh. If you don't feel that strongly, we can allow it.
It's just that's what I'd expect.
Ones you feel stronger about, you know.
Okay, gotcha.
Left wing, Vinicius. Amr says bad timing because of El Clasico. But he just says he's been a shell of himself since Mbappe has come, and he was regarded the best player in the world a couple seasons ago. Again, if you don't have any pushback,
It's based off of his statements. I think it helps that like his statements make more sense, but like just saying Vinicius overrated is like kind of crazy. I
would completely agree.
If I didn't have his statement.
Amr on right wing has put Foden. He just believes he's getting old, and the last 2 seasons haven't seen him play good footy, and because he was meant to be the best talent coming out of England. I have to hear it because he hasn't done anything.
100% on board. 100%.
Okay, Okay. On the one hand, I get the Vinicius thing, right? And this might be my bias coming in because they're kind of similar in terms of they've been incredible. They were the best player in their leagues, and now they're kind of not like they're kind of dipping in terms of their play. Foden, you're saying he's saying he's getting old, bro. He's 24 years old. You know what I mean? Like
Mental.
this guy has a lot of football to play. He's the same age
I
as
think
Haaland.
it's more of a focus on the statement that he has not been progressing, but rather regressing.
See, the issue is, I don't think he's been regressing. I think his involvement hasn't been as great as I would have expected, but it's also due to Pep. Bro, we signed like 2-3 wingers just this past summer. We've had so many wingers coming in. Foden almost plays like a center mid. If you saw today's game, he's literally playing a center mid role.
I get it, but when you're watching him for England as well, where in the times where I understand he might be putting it off at left wing, and it's not his ideal.
Horrible, by the way. Horrible for England.
England, I can't really defend him. Like, yeah, it's
that,
tough.
like, if you're not doing a job in either club or in national team, regardless of your positioning, I don't know. At striker, Amr's put Nico Williams. He just says maybe it's a bit of hatred for the movements he's done. But Amr just basically says we only talk about Nico Williams when he's in Spain. Nothing when he does at Athletic Bilbao is
And realistically, it was everyone talked about him a lot more when he was linked to Barca. Like, I think that like ever since that stopped, I haven't heard anything about him personally.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that he's at Bilbao, but sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you guys necessarily disagreed with, but tell me how much you think. Edison, Balde, Ramos, Tapsoba, Frimpong, Bellingham, Dybala, Tielemans, Vinicius, Foden, Nico Williams. Give or take, how much do you disagree with?
There's like one in each. There's one defender, one midfielder, one forward that I'd be like, I disagree.
Yeah, I'd say I agree with majority, but I think he does have some Madrid hate, which you can kind of sense in his list. But no, I think it's a solid list.
You can feel he threw in Balde there just so he can't be called that.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
He seemed diplomatic and level-headed, you know.
And he went for the most, like, the easiest answer of the bunch, you know? He's just a bit raw, you know? Yeah, I mean, Araujo, it's hard to overrate the guy at this point. Okay, who wants to go next?
I think we'll let Aarish go next.
I think Arish goes next.
Okay. I can
Listen,
go next,
again,
sure.
I'll stay silent. If I agree, I'm just going to stay silent. The second I have a big disagreement, I'll pipe up. Go on.
Okay, I got you.
I'm going to actually hold up a tally of how much I disagree because I think I'm going to be all 11. I'm joking.
In goal, I've got Hugo Lloris. All right, I just feel like he's not been the best keeper ever. Like, he's been solid. He's had some good games, but he's just not that great. And I think people hold him like really high. Just don't rate him that high. Right? For my defenders, I've got David Luiz as my first pick. I'll be real. Name me one, or name me two defensive moments of David Luiz. You can't. The only moments you see is
after all of the hair helps.
exactly.
Well, you know, the hair. You know, it just adds a bit, you know, because the Pro Club's character. That's all he was. You know, a Pro Club centre back.
He was literally a Pro Club's character. Yeah, back then. Exactly.
And right, Suarez dusted him. Suarez dusted him. I couldn't rate him ever again. Sorry. I agree.
No,
I think defensively he's just poor.
He's just bad. Yeah, he's just bad. And after that free kick he scored for Brazil, bro, the celebration made it bigger than it is. The celebration went like where he's like absolutely going berserk, like he's off like some crazy crack. Yeah, I think it made it worse. Like he's bad.
Another one I went for, his current, is Mickey Van de Ven.
I disagree. But I want to hear your reasoning because I don't know. I don't
think he's a bad defender, right? I don't think he's a bad defender. I think he has great qualities, and I think he's got potential to be a really, really good defender, right? But I think he's really inconsistent, right? It might be Spurs defense or Spurs playstyle in general that's inconsistent, but for me, I don't feel like he's consistently a solid center back, right? He's also having many injury problems.
Yeah, I think I would say I rate Christian Romero more than Mickey Van de Ven, and
exactly.
Maybe the general public don't see that because of the FPL.
Exactly, points. I think Romero's excellent, and when you see Mickey Van de Ven next to that, I just don't think he's as good, and I think he's slightly overrated. Next up, I have the Rat, Zinchenko.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah.
Look,
sure.
I used to have love for this guy, right? And he went to Arsenal, right? Maybe because Arteta wanted him, whatever. I don't think he's ever been. The thing is, like, he played a lot, but I just never saw an appeal in him as a player. He's really, really wide as a fullback. Take a few dribbles, he'd run up the pitch. Like, there was just nothing there that I was like, wow, you know?
Stop beefing with squad players, man. Just that poor guy. You know what I'm saying? The guy's just there to do a shift. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave man alone. Just leave man alone. Okay.
And I think, yeah, like
Reminds me of that 50 Cent meme, you know? It's like, what are you coming at me for?
Genuinely, what's like Zinchenko? You know what I'm saying?
no, he's also made some crazy statements, you know, which I think he's overrated. I just don't like it.
Okay. Go on.
Right?
Who next?
I'm also gonna go with Danny Carvajal, you know. Now, I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's incredible as a fullback.
Bro, the way he chats is enough to put him in here, bro.
But I
Going
think
up-
exactly people rate him.
Yeah, man. Who do you think you are? Stop
Okay.
being
No. Look. Let me make one
He's
thing.
had incredible moments. He's a great.
The Arsenal game, and he went up to Saka and he's trying to scrap. Are you mad? Tell me, Carvajal hasn't had a. Listen, I rated him in the Euros. Hasn't been a time that brother, yeah, has gone close to Lamine Yamal to go chat to him. Lamine Yamal, in half a season, has done more than his entire career.
That's fair. That's not. What does that prove, bro? Look, people blew that, I think, out of proportion. Like Carvajal chatting to Lamine Yamal, whatever, bro. If you're old enough to kick a ball and be in the first team, you're old enough to take some shit, bro. That's my 2 cents. I don't care how young you are. If you're 16, 15, 12, for all I care, bro. If you're 12 and you're smoking defenders, credit to Lamine Yamal. He is a superstar, right? But if you're good enough to play for one of the best clubs in the history of football, you're also good enough and old enough to take some shit. It's part of the game.
But you're Carvajal, like at least, like listen, can someone else have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like at least be playing on the pitch on the day. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, for example, when he did it to Saka, he wasn't there. He just came in his normal work clothes. You know what I'm saying? Just tapping Saka and slaps him on the neck. Like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, act your age. You know
I'll say this. If he, like, there's a world, and I've seen, like, there's a world where I see Fede Valverde. If he wasn't so good as a midfielder, he could literally be playing fullback over Carvajal. Right?
Yeah, but at this
Obviously, Carvajal has legacy and everything, but I just don't think he's at the level as players like Dani Alves, Cafu. I think he's won a lot, which credit to him. But he's been on like one of the best teams of all time. Like,
let's move on to the next one. Let's move on. I know. Ayhan's got stuff to say. We got to move on.
All right, I'm gonna start. My midfield is quite outrageous, so I'll start off with the least outrageous one. That's Odegaard. This brother's overrated. All right.
Good pick.
People were talking about, oh, he's taken De Bruyne's mantle, all this. What? I don't want to hear it. Right? Overrated. Next up, I've got the bomb, Roy Keane. This guy started being a pundit and chats like he's still on the pitch like he's some tough guy. Wallah, he's literally a fouler. He's definitely beat his wife. He's just a bad human being, and I don't rate him as a footballer.
That's probably one of the worst takes. The worst takes you'll ever have on A.K.A.
He's a good leader. He's a good leader. He's not a good footballer. I don't care.
Bro,
I don't care. Sure, you can scream at 90, whatever. That doesn't make you a good footballer.
This shows he's watched, this guy here, he's watched none of Roy Keane. None. Yes, he has, his aggression and his leadership roles are probably what make him most known and what are most prominent about him. But Roy Keane was an exceptional passer and metronome, bro. He was amazing.
That's fine. That's fine.
And just because he hurts people doesn't mean it makes his passing ability, his shooting ability, anything else worse. He was incredible, bro.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm sure he's good at passing and all that. But the fact that you even said that, he's most noted for his aggression and for his leadership and stuff, you can't be in an all-time midfielder. You can't be a prem all-time midfielder great if your best attributes are aggression and leadership. You know what I mean?
Those are his best attributes.
We have players like Kante in the league. We have players like Pogba. He can't be near those.
I didn't say that's what his best attributes are. I said that's what he's most known for. That's what he's most known for.
You
But
put,
that doesn't
you
mean
put
those are his-
Carrick in Roy Keane's role, and he's doing the same thing.
but that's a testament to Carrick being underrated.
Get out, man. Roy Keane is not a top midfielder. I think he's.
Is he at the table one type thing? No, I'm on board with that. No way.
Have
But
we
there's
just allowed Carrick in Roy Keane's spot? Because now I'm not here for it. 'Cause I was agreeing with him. And he just
my god, bro! Oh my god! Now Carrick slander, get a grip! Oh my!
It's not Carrick. I think Carrick was underrated. Good player. He was getting
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Listen, but I'm just saying, were you saying replacing Roy Keane and did the same results? Hell no.
No, look, I think
Oh,
Roy Keane was incredible. Box to box, he was an absolute monster. He was intimidating. People were scared to go up against him.
That's what I'm saying. Intimidating, scared to go against him, bro. That's fine. That's good. You need that on your team.
Wow, by the way, you're describing a UFC great right now. It's not UFC.
Send him Dagestan.
Bro.
I promise you, he'll be a go at UFC.
Roy
That's not what I want in my
Keane
midfield.
11 is horrible. People jump on him. People call him shit as a footballer because they disagree with his takes. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Okay. Listen. We gotta move on. Who's your next player?
My next one. Now, this one hurts to say genuinely. And I don't want people out there to call me crazy. But it's Luka Modric.
Oh my goodness.
Let it sit. Let it sit. Luka. I love him. I think he's incredible. But I've seen a lot of people rate him at the same level or even higher than Xavi and Iniesta. And for me, that makes him overrated, right? I think his Ballon d'Or has inflated the idea around Luka Modric.
That's what we call voter fatigue and a half, by the way, because I'm telling you right now.
Exactly. He did not deserve it. And
yeah, he didn't.
And his contribution to Croatia has been excellent, but people act like Croatia wasn't a good side.
Hear me out. Rakitic in that World Cup, as important as Modric.
He was arguably better. Rakitic was incredible. Perisic, incredible. They have so many good players, right? Gvardiol, incredible. And people
they wanted so they can make sure that Modric won the Ballon d'Or. They wanted to make sure there was this narrative out here that this is a single man. It's like the way like Bale is for Wales, for example. They wanted to push vendetta out there that this was the case.
That's not the case.
No, look, fine. I'll give you that. Croatia was a relative, like they were a slept-on side for sure. And Rakitic in his element was crazy. That guy could play. But we have seen firsthand in numerous Champions League finals, numerous Champions League games, Modric pulls magic out of the bag and he will run midfields on his own. It is crazy to put him in the most overrated 11.
However, let me just say something. Modric had moments, but in those games where he was subbing on, why was he subbing on?
Exactly.
I actually during his comebacks, why was he subbing on? Because there was a point in his career where like Real Madrid would play against Man City, get overrun against PSG, get overrun the midfield for the entire game if Modric is playing. However, Modric had moments of magic. So yes, you would want him in the moment of a comeback. However, I'm not even necessarily agreeing with the fact that Modric is overrated. I'm agreeing that Modric moments are overrated because you forget that he's not playing in these games. The choice of not playing him in this game comes down to what? Because if he's playing, your midfield's getting overrun. So you need him for 20 minutes only. For him to do a Travella pass and call it a day to Rodrigo and say, Salama, I'm going. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I think you have his physical ability declining alongside his age. The brother's 40 plus, by the way. Can we take that in? His physical ability declining as
bro, the guy's career started at 27, bro.
You guys are discrediting that. You guys are discrediting his technical ability.
But are you looking at the last 8 years of his career rather than the first 13 where he was like, dude, when Modric was voted as the biggest flop for Real Madrid signing in his first season, Xavi and Iniesta were out here winning trebles. That's what they were doing. They were doing this
I'm not saying he's better than them. He's not. He's not. I don't think he can.
And that's my whole thing. The fact that people can say
is in contention. Like there is an argument.
Can we just settle that? We agree with Arish's statement that he's not better than them. However, some of us don't agree that he's overrated.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Let's move on to the next player.
We can agree.
Next up, these are pretty moderate. Left wing, I have Anthony Martial.
Hard to overrate that guy.
I think he was he was good as a youngster. You know, there was ideas of him being incredible, and then that hype just kept going, but his level stopped, and injuries and whatnot. You can't blame the guy, but I just think that's led him to have an overrated career. Next up, Chris Wood. That brother is not top 10 Prem strikers, all this, whatever. We've had this talks personally. I think Chris Wood, a lot of people 2 seasons ago didn't know who Chris Wood was. Genuinely, I believe that.
I'll say
Right.
one thing. He didn't have more than 15 goals in any Prem season till last. And not in any Prem season. He's never had 15 goals in any domestic league he played in
Yeah.
until last season.
He had a great run, right? It's one of those seasons you remember, but he was not that guy, the level that people put him at.
Mhm.
And lastly, I've gone with Saka. Bukayo.
I have to disagree with this, but I will hear your reasoning.
Bukayo.
What do you think? What do you think? Why?
I don't think he's a bad player. But just as a footballer, I genuinely don't see him better than players like Foden, right? I don't see him impacting the game like players like Doku, right? I don't see him working like Mbeumo. I think he's incredible, you know, with set pieces. He puts the ball in good places.
I have a question. Wait. Listen to that, man. That's it.
Saka,
Can you
can I tell you something?
Who are the two names you said?
Foden and Doku.
No, those were examples. I also included Mbeumo.
Wait. But you think they're valid examples?
Perhaps.
No, astaghfirullah al-azim. Wait, let me sit down. Are you
Hear
talking
what I
about right
said,
now?
though.
You're talking about right now? Or are you saying like prime or like what are we talking
No,
about?
I'm just saying, like, in general, just talking. You know what I'm saying? Just talking. I just don't
No.
think he's that impactful.
So Doku, what he's done? Because he made one run down the wing once. Yeah,
No, I promise you, every game Doku's played, I promise you, when he touched the ball, that brother is a spark. That brother is a firework.
Mabruk for him. mashallah. Congratulations. But how about everything Saka's done? Like
No,
what?
I agree. I'm not saying Saka's his level. I'm not saying Saka's worse than him or anything like that. I just think he's overrated, right? Arsenal fans, don't get me started, right? I think they take a certain player or a certain coach and they inflate him so high up that you can see him all the way from Yucatan. Saka is one of those players where he's not a bad player. He's a great player, but he's not the level that certain man put him at. He's average. Can I tell you something? Open play, he's averaged, I think, 3 goals and 2 assists for the past 3 seasons.
Maybe.
Like, you can't tell me as a winger who's meant
to. We can talk about overrated, but so you agreed that Foden and Doku are not better, yeah? Just making sure.
Ignore that. No, we don't have to talk about that right now. That's a different pod.
It's called illness. That's what we call it. Something's wrong.
Foden is my opinion, like, brother. Like, I think of Foden as my brother. You could have had Foden instead of Ayaan right here. I would have been like, yeah, guys, come on. It's still A.K.A.
That's it, right? That's your team.
That's my team.
Just that Saka shout alone, I think you've got the worst one of the day.
No, come on. Are you serious?
Oh, listen to Ayaan. Listen.
Luka is more outrageous than Saka.
I agree with that take.
I can hear. Let's just move on, man.
I think some of mine might be
Let's just move on. Ayaan, you can go next, man.
I'll go next.
Okay, do you want to go next? Ayaan's are a bit outrageous.
Okay, I'll go next, maybe because I bring some sense into this.
Sense! I want to hear it. I want to hear you talk about Mbappe and all the Madrid bias, Madrid hate.
Maybe keep the people actually on the podcast now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
Saka's overrated.
Let me go, man. I don't want to hear your voice anymore. It's pissing me off.
Let's talk about the Euro penalty.
Huh?
Let's talk about the Euro penalty. What happened there?
Yeah, you better not be in those DMs, by the way.
I love Saka. I love him. Just slightly overrated.
Okay. Keeper, I've gone Lloris. We've already established that. Not great at shots, or with his feet, or commanding his box. I can't name one good thing. Everything Av. You're mid.
Average.
Completely agree.
Left back Jordan Martin. I don't know if anyone rates him, but if his mother rates him, it's too much.
I don't think people rate him.
But if his mom rates him, it's already too much. Okay. His mom should say, "You see that last name Martin?" His dad, I mean, his dad. You see that last name Martin? Change it. Next, we've got Fikayo Tomori, and hands up. There was a time where I was like, this England centre back squad, they've got no one. But then the only time, see, last time he made an appearance for England was 2 years ago. Okay. And the few times he played, on my mother's life, bring me Dan Burn, bring me Lewis Dunk, we'll have a great day instead of him. He looked bad, and he made mistakes in those games.
I will say though, when you look at his like clubs, I don't think he's overrated.
Christian Pulisic balls at AC Milan. We can allow it.
Oh my
So
god.
does Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah. Okay, next I've got, this is a controversial one. I don't think people would be happy with me, my fellow Barca fans. I've gone Gerard Piqué. And what I will say about this is I'm going off the basis that I believe he's been compared to Sergio Ramos in his career, and I can't have that. I can't have it. I think the amount of cover he got, so don't get me wrong, I think for a Barcelona system, he was amazing in terms of passing.
Yeah.
But guess what? Who's also great for that? Eric Garcia. Okay. Now wait, hold up. I'm not making the direct comparison, but what I'm just saying is, when you get to grow in a system where you have Puyol and Busquets, or like early on, of course, he didn't have Busquets just yet. He's having like a Toure or something. But I just think that his defensive flaws at recovering was overlooked. He worked really well at Barcelona, but even if you look at his time at Manchester United, and I was really young when he was at his career, it's very clear where they were just they noticed that like in any other system he fails, and I think that says a lot if you are built for a specific system as a center back. When I'd like a center back to be a bit more dynamic. Okay, we're right back. Trent. I don't want to say too much. Defense. Who else? What else have I got to say? Okay, I genuinely believe like Real Madrid. Real Madrid don't start him right now. If he's healthy, they don't start him.
Yeah, they're not.
And that's bad.
I think Trent is overhated. Right? I think his defensive contributions are often like overlooked. I'm not gonna say he's great defensively, but I think it's almost become a trend to call him overrated. But does that make him underrated? You guys can decide.
At DM, I've gone for two brothers that they might as well be the same person. William Carvalho and Danilo Pereira.
Oh my days.
Listen. Tell me. Wait. Let me finish my sentence.
Bombs.
Listen. Let me just say something. I've watched those brothers play football. You know what they call them? You're a midfield anchor. Mate, just say you're slow. Just say you can't do it.
So slow.
Just run. Just like what? You know what I'm telling you? They've made a position for them just to give them a drop. You know what I'm saying?
William Carvalho. Oh my days, bro. That guy's hype was insane.
But like what? Like, did you ever see it?
For no reason.
No reason at all. At centre mid, when people might not like this, maybe I sound butthurt, but Wijnaldum. Now let me land. Let a brother land. I don't think he was a bad midfielder. I think the fact he was given a moment due to Barcelona being an absolute horrible performance at Anfield, it has like immortalized him in a sense where it has put him at a level above where he is. He was never wow outside of where he was at Liverpool. And even at Liverpool, you felt like he was just a placeholder in a team. You didn't feel like he was a standout midfielder. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, any day of the week, I know it's not the same type of player. McAllister is 10 times the player Wijnaldum ever was. That's basically what I'm getting at, you know?
I disagree with that. I don't think that moment makes him overrated.
You feel like he's immortalized in people's brains now because of that moment? I feel like
the moment is so iconic. It's so iconic. Like, I wouldn't say Origi is overrated.
Origi, for example, the way I feel like it's different is Origi is immortalized in the sense people remind him as that player you sub on that's like that clutch, like bench player you have. Wijnaldum's immortalized as that center mid in that Klopp midfield that we remember. And I'm like, I don't think he was all that much. I think almost every single midfielder that ever played in that Liverpool system were as good as him, if not better. Every midfielder.
I will say though, when I look at Klopp's midfield at Liverpool, genuinely, none of them actually stood out to me, but it worked. So for me to say like overrated could be like counterintuitive because like at the end of the day, it's working. A lot of people would say Jordan Henderson is overrated, but like he literally was an anchor for that team. You know what I mean? Same with Wijnaldum.
I get it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree. Maybe it's more of a debate of What'd you say on?
Wijnaldum, Naby Keita, same player.
Yeah, genuinely, like, just have a great day. You know, if Naby Keita just didn't get injured, Wijnaldum might not even be starting in some of these games. As other centre mid, this is just based off his performances at every other club he's been at since Southampton. James Ward-Prowse, good job. You can score some free kicks. Christian D can shoot it better. No one really cares. You know what I'm saying? I think you saw him at West Ham, and he could barely even start at Nottingham when he was there. Of course, Nottingham had a very great season, but even West Ham fans complain so much about him. Now, I'll leave my right wing last. You'll see why. At left wing, I've got Liao. I think you're now 26, and I haven't heard. He's never hit double-digit goals or assists in Serie A. Okay.
Ever.
No, like combined, he has, but he never had 10 goals. He's never had 10 assists in a single season. In a season. And you talk about it like, oh yeah, we want to sign him for 80 million. And bro, this guy doesn't start for Portugal. Okay, don't get me wrong. He has good competition, but good job. You smile when you dribble the ball. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? In fact, if I have a player on my team and you're meant to be the star, and imagine I buy a brother for 80 million, and you're not, and you're just smiling as you dribble, and I'm meant to be gassed.
No, to be honest, I'm on board because my cousin, he supports Chelsea, and I remember Chelsea and Leao had like some pretty strong links. And he was so gassed. And I told him the same thing. I was like, bro, this guy is trash. You bring him in the Prem, he's not going to work.
Anytime he's come up against a low block, he looks lack of creativity. He does the same
he
ball
looks
roll,
lost.
same ball roll, and then tries to just like quickly hit it in.
Yeah, that's very true.
Thing. At striker, you guys probably won't get it, but Lucas Ocampos, kind of going back to my DM thing. No technical. This guy, listen, Lucas Ocampos at Sevilla, I'm just saying this is a La Liga type of thing, where this guy was purely just so technically poor. He was a hard worker, but technically, brother, all my life, you made me think I could go play. That's bad. Yeah, I'm saying that's bad when you do that.
That's really bad. That's
Why?
really bad.
Why though? I don't. Why?
That's really bad. Wow.
You don't remember? I played for it. No. Okay. And at right wing, I've got Gareth Bale.
No.
Land.
It's disgusting.
I have a question for you. This brother had more valleys than he had peaks in his career. This guy averaged 20 games a season for Real Madrid, and 9 seasons he played 180 games.
Oh, and those games were incredible.
Look, you remember him for his moments, okay? I'm telling you right now, remember him for his moments. In Cardiff, for example, when he's in the Champions League final, he's having moments. This guy isn't even starting some of these games. In the Champions League campaigns he was part of. Listen to this. I have a question for you. When you think of Bale, do you think of him maybe competing for top 5? You maybe even see him in the same bracket as Neymar, some people. Listen, his highest position, His highest position in the Ballon d'Or, 6th place in 2016, 9th in 2013, 12th in 2014, 16th in 2015, 17th in 2018. That man, listen, when we talk about the best players of our generation, all of them at some point, people were saying that they should be considered to be alongside Messi and Ronaldo for the Ballon d'Or conversation. Bale, when you're averaging 20 games a season, when it was meant to be your time when Ronaldo left the team, what happened? Benzema decided to take over, and you decided, guess what, I'm going to go play some golf. You know what I'm saying? You're at the range.
But see, look. I think, yeah. It was unfortunate that the way it worked out was when by the time Ronaldo left, Bale also kind of just, like it just turned sour. It turned really sour really fast with Madrid fans and the board and whatever. So yeah, unfortunate. But also, the times where I know you compare. First of all, yeah, is he close to Neymar? Whatever. That's another debate for another day. But despite playing 20 games a season, right, on average, you're still finishing 6th. You're still finishing top 10. That in itself, and also no, but also we have to remember that during the time of Ronaldo and Messi competing for the Ballon d'Or, no matter who the players were, no matter how good they were, Neymar and Suarez, for example, MSN was mental.
But Neymar was in the top 3. Suarez got into the FIFA Pro 11 front 3.
Absolutely, but we know Okay, what happened with everyone, and I'm sure you guys can agree. When Ronaldo was leading Madrid, people thought Benzema was not as good as he actually is.
He's playing on right wing. He's playing on the wings
because you're playing for Ronaldo. You're playing to Ronaldo, right? I think it discredits Bale. Because Bale is also in his time where you have to catered to Ronaldo. You're catering to him. I think had it been a different situation where Ronaldo wasn't on the team and it was more Bale taking the more, yeah, injuries did not help him, right? But if he took more of a prominent role as a leader of the team, I think this overrated thing is just diminished right away.
Okay, sorry. Let me just say one more thing. He had only 4 years of peak football from 2012 to 2016. That's one thing as well. You've only played 4 years of peak football. When I compare it to other players of the same quality that you might put him next to, you put him next to Hazard, for example, who even flopped at Real Madrid. You have
Yeah,
a
but
much longer peak. Another thing, in 1920, he only played nine. This is the seasons where he should be taken over from Ronaldo. Played 16 La Liga games. I'm not saying Bale lacked the quality. What I am telling you, I'm not saying Bale lacked quality. If this was a thing about how quality a player is, Bale's up there. He's one of the best in our generation.
100%.
Quality. But what I'm telling you is why I'm considering him overrated is it kind of goes back to the Wijnaldum point, but to an extreme level, where people forget that his biggest moments, the moment against Bartra and the moment in the Champions League final, where he's going crazy and stuff like this. My point is he was not even there for the majority of those campaigns. I cannot put you as he's not a top 10 player of our generation. He isn't.
Wait, hold on. Look, kind of Bale is a soft spot for me, but I agree with you in terms of like he just didn't play, right? However, the difference between him and Wijnaldum had a moment or two. Bale was the moment. Gareth Bale, when you just watch him, he was incredible, right? But I will say that because of his what he could do, that almost killed him because he couldn't play. He had so much potential. What he did for Wales, what he's done at Madrid, what he's done at Spurs, everyone had this like idea, and it was like we all wanted Bale to succeed, but because he couldn't, I could see why you have to say he is overrated.
well, no,
Right.
but I think
I think people don't remember how the lack of consistency. People don't remember it because of the moments. I don't like when
That's
people
true.
cloud their judgment.
if you're talking about his injuries and prime, like for example, if you think, and that it's a fair argument, right? Where people say the best ability is availability, right?
Availability.
If you need to be healthy, and then fair enough. If that's a big factor in deciding whether a player is good or not and how great they are, that's fair. But also, like, I think it's a little rough. It's a little harsh to judge a player based off of how long his peak was, because sure, Bale's peak was 3 to 4 years. Realistically, and do I think Bale is on the same level as him? No, but Ronaldinho, for example, his peak, in my opinion, was Barca. That peak is only 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, and then you've got Milan as well. I'm not disagreeing that aspect. I think it's more so the only reason why I've taken availability into account is because in the majority of conversations I've had, I think people genuinely have forgotten this.
Which is fine, yeah. So, but then let me
But that's
ask you:
normal though. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
are just gonna remember the moments.
if you take away, if you were to not factor in availability at all, like take away his injuries, just look at pure how good he was technically and how like his everything apart from injuries. Do you think he's overrated as a player?
In terms of quality, it depends on what you're saying. I don't believe, for example, he's
Like
better than Thorgan. I don't believe he's better than
Morgan Hazard.
no. Eden Hazard. I misspoke.
I'm about to
I don't
leave
believe
this call. Wallahi.
no.
Wallahi, yeah, wallahi, I was gonna leave. Morgan Hazard.
I don't believe he's better than Eden Hazard. In terms of if you had never at no point do I feel like you were ever the main man of your team.
I don't
Ever.
know. No, but that's
So
the thing.
Hazard had like set like what 6 or 7 years of Chelsea dominant like where he's the main man at Chelsea week in week out. Listen, honestly, Ion, we're an hour in. I know you got a lot to say, but I honestly don't even think probably not going to do start bench stuff today. To be honest, you just how long it's gone.
Yeah,
But
man. The fans want it. Okay. We'll go through a couple of our players have been mentioned already. Goalkeeper Ederson, sure. Okay. Now I have 3 defenders, 4 midfielders, 3 attackers. You know, couldn't really think of a one fullback, so we'll go with this anyways. My first center back is Vincent Company. We're on board. Okay, cool. I honestly thought that was a
I'm
hot
not
take.
on board with that.
Vincent Company. The
why do you disagree?
The guy's got a big head, a massive forehead, right?
Had this now?
No, he's got a massive forehead, and people because of that one clip where Aguero was like, "Vinny, don't shoot! Vinny, don't shoot!" and he just smashed
don't
the
think
top
so.
bin. Bro, people are the guy. The guy was a yelling merchant. The guy was reckless. I think
Oh
he's
yeah, but with Roy Keane, yeah, tactical, all that, yeah.
no. But you said Roy Keane had nothing else. I just think Company was shit.
I think
Like my
Company,
player,
he was never known for his attacking play, right? That shot was incredible, but like he wasn't known for his attacking play. He was known for his aerial duels. He had a lot of mistakes, right? I won't deny that. I think,
so error prone.
but I don't think he's overrated just purely because I don't think people rate him that highly. You know, when you look at the center backs that have played in the Premier League, I don't think people rate him.
I think my list is less of if people rate him highly or not. It's just that I rate you so low that like if anyone rates you, I'm questioning their knowledge.
That's
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Who's
That's-
next? Who's next?
my other defender is gonna be Kyle Walker. It's gonna sound like I have a city bias here, but I don't. Well, I don't. Kyle Walker, I think I'm just gonna say this. Was he horrible? No. But I think his pace and his ability to recover made him look so much better than he is. There were so many times, like countless times, where for City in the Prem, for England in international tournaments, for City in the Champions League, where he gets caught out, and just because he's so bloody rapid, he can catch the attacker and make up for it. He can recover. But
Isn't
apart
that like good?
That's a good skill though. That's
why is Van de Ven overrated? Van de Ven's rapid too, and that's a skill that we have to go based off of that.
I
but
think
I
as
don't
a
think Van
full.
de Ven is as consistent. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think Kyle Walker. When you look at one-on-one duels, like Kyle Walker he's good. You know, he doesn't.
All right,
He's,
mate.
he
If we're
provides
looking at
attacking
one-on-one
threat.
duels, who had the best one-on-one success rate as a defender, as a fullback? Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Look at where he is now. Yeah, he's trash.
All right. Who's next?
Moving on. I'm gonna die on this hill. Okay, I think the most overrated Premier League defender of all time, Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk.
Why?
Virgil van Dijk.
Genuinely, he's had 4 takes so far.
Yeah. So yeah. Like, but no. So he said.
Who's
Ederson.
the keeper?
Ederson.
Yeah,
Sure.
you've had 4 takes so far, and you've had 3 bad takes already.
That's not a bad take. Okay, look, I'll tell you this. I think Van Dijk is great. I think he's put on a pedestal that he's not at. He's not at that level. Has he led Liverpool for a consistent period of time? Yeah, sure. Has he come back from an ACL injury and looked good? Yeah, sure. Kudos to him. Credit. Not many players can do that. But one thing, I think this thing that people have created, like he has this aura about him, I think is ridiculous. I think it's disgusting, in fact.
It's true though.
Bro, no, it's not. People talk about this stat like, oh, he hasn't been dribbled past, blah, blah, blah. Bro, that is the most absurd stat I've ever heard of. I think it's the stupidest thing that you can use. I think it's horrible, and I'll tell you
But
why.
how can you have a pony and waves at the same time?
Yeah, fair enough. The guy's paying. I didn't say he's ugly. I just said he's a shit defender. Tell me this.
Shit defender?
Yeah, he's a shit defender. Look,
I'd say he's having a bad season. Right, Liverpool's not doing great, but he's still probably top 3 defender in the Prem.
he could be top tier defender. I'm not saying he's not a top tier defender. I'm saying he's a great defender. I just think
And I'm
people think
saying
people say he's the best defender of all time in the Prem.
Who's better than him all time? Who's better than him all time? Name
All
him.
time?
Yep.
I think, me personally,
Prem.
John Terry. John Terry.
Is that it?
I think I would argue Ferdinand Vidic, but like I can hear both to that. But John
You're
Terry,
overrated on the statement that he's the best player of all time. Best
defender.
center back. Best
Yeah,
center back in the Prem.
I
all
just
time.
want to make one point about him. That stat that people use, oh, he's never been dribbled past. Bro, you watch his games, his entire, and call it strategy, call it whatever, but I think it's ridiculous. His entire, like the way he defends is that he always backs away from a player. He backs away. He takes away any opportunity for a player to dribble past him, which is his way of defending. That's
You're
fine.
saying that Van Dijk is just backing up like this all the way to the goal. Like eventually something happens.
Yeah, sure. Like you're gonna put your hands behind your back. You're gonna keep doing this. I've seen him. There's countless videos, countless memes of him getting spun, right? And him doing that has achieved absolutely nothing. That's like, bro. That's like saying, oh, he hasn't been dribble past. That's because he doesn't do anything to get dribble past. He doesn't get stuck in. He doesn't do all of that. That's like saying, oh, De Bruyne is a worse midfielder. Hear me out. De Bruyne is a worse midfielder than Naby Keita because he has a lower pass successful pass percentage. Well, that's not true. You're never gonna agree with that because Naby Keita might be passing the left and right 100 times in a game, right?
That's fine. But
That's
look,
fine. De Bruyne, no, but De Bruyne. Would you rather have De Bruyne or Naby Keita? Of course, De Bruyne, right? I don't care how many times De Bruyne loses the ball. I really don't care because the times where he does get it on point, It's the pass is amazing. It's almost always leading up to a goal, and that's what makes him special. He pulls off passes
But
that other
that's the
players can't do.
difference between a attacking midfielder and a center back. A center back, you want to minimize risk, right? You don't care about good moments. You want to minimize risk.
No, I don't
Sure,
want
a
to
player can have
minimize
a
risk.
good goal line
I don't want
clearance.
to look. The fact is, you can do all that, and if that's your strategy, and you're still conceding, and you're still getting spun, you're just shit.
But
Man,
he wasn't though. That
A
season,
36-year-old,
what
a
season was that? What
36-year-old
season was that?
Perisic,
They don't win the Champions League that
36-year-old
season.
Perisic is putting you on your knees, bro. Get a grip. 36-year-old
But that season,
Perisic.
did they not win the Champions League? When he
I
did the
didn't
dribble
say.
pass?
Look, what?
It's clearly working. As a defender, he's not looking to inflate his stats by not getting dribble pass. That's not the reason why he's not going in, right? He's not going in, right? Because that's not what he's meant to do.
That's what I said. I said his strategy is fine. That can be his strategy. But then the fact that people put him in the best of Premier League defender of all time and use that stat as a way to argue that is ridiculous. It's baseless. Because that's his strategy. Fair enough. You keep doing that with your
Right. We gotta move on. Arish.
Right. Next, I'll go through my midfielders quickly. I think you guys are all going to be on board with this. So let's see. Enzo Fernandez. I think hype was crazy. He's decent for Argentina, but for Chelsea, he's pretty shit. I think Caicedo
Inconsistent,
blows him out.
but he's
Caicedo
good.
blows him out of the water.
Inconsistent, but he was really integral to Argentina's ability to like
He's
perform
good
at a
for
high
Argentina,
level.
for sure. But I think Caicedo blows him out of the water. Like
I
it's not-
think he is in a slightly unfortunate position to sometimes be playing in like inconsistent roles where he actually is like he's actually a lot better in the cam role than like people give him credit for, and when he's downgraded to be playing a double pivot with Caicedo, I think it hurts him a lot. So
But
I think
they've
that
tried- I think they
Hmm?
tried that in previous seasons, right? They tried it.
he's actually shown pretty well during that time, but the second you have Cole Palmer healthy again, guess what? You can't really do that. And when you have great options at cam, you don't want to do it. But Enzo Fernandez's best inconsistent moments have come when he's been at the cam. I'm not saying I directly disagree, but we can keep going.
And like I said, it's not his Argentina stint is good. Like I'm not going to talk about that. It's more so what I see in the Prem. Next midfielder, I'm going to say Jordan Henderson. I think might be like my grandmother's dead, bro, and I think she could play better ball than him. That's what I think. Jordan Henderson's horrible. People gas him up. People gas him up like, oh, he led Liverpool to a Premier League title. Gerrard couldn't. Bro, get a grip. Get serious.
I'll tell you one thing. It is a weird thing that you felt like Henderson started getting like I know I've used the word a lot today. We started getting immortalized out of nowhere, starting from like 2018. Whereas before that, you never felt like there was this big thing about Henderson being a baller in this Liverpool
Yeah,
side.
And he's not.
It's just been like, oh, he's that player that's there. And then it became
His standout trait.
they wanted an English guy to replace the captaincy in the same way they saw Stevie G and they saw Carragher, and they want to put a face.
Agendas, narratives and agendas. My next midfielder could be crazy. I'm gonna stand by it, and I know it seems like a crazy City and Liverpool agenda because I've mentioned everyone from those two sides.
It's fine.
Steven Gerrard.
Oh, that's bad.
Overrated.
Bad. That's really bad.
I think he's
If
overrated.
you're gonna point to Prem titles, I just can't. I can't hear it. You know, like I can't. What's overrated about him that? So okay. Quick question. Just answer quickly. Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard. Who's the best of the three?
In my opinion, is this based off of what I would want in a team? In my side,
Sure.
if I'm to pick who would I want in my team, it would be Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard. But
Okay, then I
but,
disagree with you.
but I think, but all bias aside and everything, I think Lampard's the best of the three.
I don't think there is a single player that could have been of any of those midfielders that could have been the amount of influence. Let's say he had in 2005. No other player has that influence.
You go into a dressing room. You say, "Let's go, guys. Let's go, lads. Let's do this." Yeah,
Yo,
nice.
Connor.
Influence.
It's the
So how
ability
old
to
are you,
play as a DM.
How old are you? 2005?
Oh, okay, that's cool. Okay, what we're gonna say, what I'm trying to get at is if you watch even that final, look at the squad he had with him and the amount of people that are even big deal and stuff like that. Like you're talking about Lampard. Guess what? You had the privilege of playing box to box with also the players around you. Hell,
Absolutely, fair enough. Fair enough.
he got to play as a DM, center mid, and cam all at the same time within that team, and the only player that could have played the DM, center mid, and cam for that team. I don't see how Steven Gerrard is the only one in my of all three of those midfielders has seen great success in a team where he is undoubtedly by far the best player.
Okay,
You
great.
look at the Liverpool side, no one competes.
On FIFA, his alternate positions will be CDM and Cam. Like, great. What are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that? Put your Premier League title on the table. Exactly. Get out of here.
You look at Lampard, and you're talking about. You said John Terry, best center back of all time. Oh, you got that guy in your team. You've got Didier Drogba in your team. You've got people say one of the best prime strikers of all time. And look at Liverpool. Liverpool, yalla, bro. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm saying Gerrard.
How about this? The closest time Liverpool got to a Premier League title, Gerrard single-handedly fumbled it. And he let someone like Demba Ba took the ball from him. He could have basically looked back, laughed at him, and continued running. That's how slow and that's how shit Gerrard was.
Does the slip warrant an overrated status? It might. Does the slip warrant an overrated status?
Absolutely.
Bro, because you're talking like, bro, are we talking about like Gerrard in like 2013? Like, is that where the Gerrard we're talking about? I'm not talking about Gerrard in 2013.
I'm talking Steven Michael Gerrard. Gerrard. I don't know. I made that up. But we'll move on just for the sake of time here. This one, I think this is a little bit more, not recency bias. It's like looking back at old times. I'm sure I don't watch him too much now, but I'm sure he's great. I had Gavi, for Barcelona. I think when he was young, maybe call me a hater, but I think when he was young, he was very reckless. I think he played to his own detriment, too emotional. There's been games where it looks like he just wants to get revenge on a player. You know, like he goes into a tackle that's dumb. It's clearly dumb. It's not the right.
That sounds like Roy Keane. You might as well be describing him.
It's
too
my team.
emotional, too reckless.
Are we talking about Roy Keane or are we talking about my team here?
Yeah, but your reasoning for Gavi sounds like you're describing Roy Keane. For mashallah, if Roy Keane's one of the best captains of all time, let's give Gavi that status now.
That's crazy. That's crazy. A serial winner to Gavi, mental. Okay, we'll go to but see, I don't think that's ridiculous considering you guys haven't spoken too much against it. But my forward now, right wing Saka, on board with Arish. I think especially this season, I think he's had. Granted, he's been injured, but I also think like people say, and I mean Mohamed Nunu, he got slapped up in FPL, by the way. Can I just add that this week? But he says that Bukayo doesn't do much because of how many more players there are in the Arsenal squad that can contribute. Frankly speaking, from where Bukayo came from, like the last 2 seasons, he was the guy for Arsenal, right? He was that guy. Everything went through him. Everything flowed through him.
He's been good. He's good for England as well. That's the only part where I find it struggle.
Okay, you know who else is good for England? You know who else is good for England?
Who?
I don't know. Someone's probably good for England. That's bad for them.
For it, best keeper in the Prem. Like, what are we talking about?
No, but like, okay, I think there are players that perform for England that may not necessarily be good for their clubs, right? Like,
I agree, but I think he's good for both, and I just think that you're talking about. I just have to disagree because I think, as we even see with Salah, who's been having a really poor season, it is such a weird adjustment to go from not playing with a proper striker to playing with a proper striker, and it always impacts the wingers that cut in more. That you're just not used to it. You're just like I just believe that's the case. Like, for example, like Robin would always thrive when Muller was the one that always helped drop into space for him to cut in. And when you just have to adjust to playing with a proper striker, the performances of these right wingers always seem to dip until they somehow adjust to playing with a proper striker.
Is he a proper striker though? He's pretty bad, if you ask me.
You get it?
Yeah, guy plays with Timberland boots on his feet, man. Look, I don't know. Saka was that guy for Arsenal, and I think he knew he was that guy. I think,
MashaAllah, I could think you're doing an Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City combined.
No, but I think it's important for a player who's as important and critical to the team as Saka is. I think you have to maintain. Like, look at Lamine Yamal, for example, right? Lamine Yamal was good, is good, and will continue to be good, and he knows he's good. So what does he do when he plays? He's demanding the ball. He wants the ball. He wants to make something happen out of nothing, right? He wants that. Saka used to do that. He was getting double teamed. He still found a way to contribute to goals and assists. Now, bro's having a day off, bro. He does nothing. I've watched games. He's not doing anything. He runs. He does a couple little shimmies, and then he passes it back. That's all he does. For sure, you can take a corner here and there. Big whoop. Like it's a horrible season. Maybe it's
they've gotten
a
so
little
comfortable to their set piece goals that they almost don't even have the desire to like take man on and like go for. They just want to win a corner.
You watch Muhammad an Arsenal game with Muhammad corner. He's going He's celebrating a corner more than a goal, bro.
That's an insult to every Arsenal fan. But go on, who's your next player?
My left winger, Aarish might disagree here, but I think he's horrible. Jack Grealish.
Oh, but I'm gonna back my boy for Everton right now. What I'm gonna say is, I think he's a victim to listening to a system too directly. I think he's a victim. That's why I think
he's a grown man.
Because the guy's Man City, you've put him at left wing. For example, every single time, let's take Coutinho at Barcelona, for example. You try to put a person that plays as a 10 as a left winger, even Foden, which we've already talked about today, which is, I do believe he's regressed. But again, when you play him in England and you're forcing him to play left wing and you're saying Bellingham play the 10, yes, now you've lost all the best qualities about them. Jack Grealish, who got Player of the Month for the first month of the season, he's a victim to the fact that you're trying to play him at left wing and he's not a left wing. Congrats, if I took your right back and I decided to play him left wing, he's also going to be confused. You know what I'm saying? That's
Gareth very well from left back to right wing.
I want to say this about Grealish, right? I think, was he overpriced? Without a shadow of a doubt. Yes, he was overpriced. We signed him for a really high transfer fee, right? But do I think he's overrated? Not at all, right? It's the same way I would talk about Harry Maguire, right? Harry Maguire was so overpriced, right? He was the record-breaking signing, I'm pretty sure, at the time. And now you look at Maguire, you don't see he's overrated, right? You can't look at someone based, like, I see the statement of, looking at his price tag, like, that's definitely a valuable part to it. But we won the treble with Jack Grealish, with that signing. You know what I mean? He was incredible for that.
Days. We're not going to say Jack Grealish helped them win a treble. We are not going to say that.
What are we going to say then?
We're going to say Jack Grealish is shit and was shit and will continue to be shit. That's what we're
Are you trying to say that they won the treble in spite of Jack Grealish? Is that what you're trying to get at more?
Bro, Jack Grealish could be in flipping Saskatoon and they would have still won the treble.
No. That's horrible thing.
Look,
my whole point for bringing the treble up, though, which I'd love bringing up multiple more times, is just we got his value worth. Now ignore the price tag and just look at the player. Look at the media around him. No one rates him, right? Like, no one rates him to the point where you're assuming they do.
Jack Grealish might be one of the most protected players I've ever seen. He might be one of the most protected players I've ever seen. Bro, he had countless poor performances for City. Countless. We all know that. We are all aware
I don't think so.
But if it were to be, let me say, if it were to be anyone from Barcelona's wingers, if it were to be Rashford, if it were to be Salah, if it were to be Saka, if it were to be even bloody Sterling, they would tear them apart. They would get torn.
The whole point of overrated is you look at Saka, you look at Salah, you don't put Jack Grealish in that conversation. I'm not putting. No one's putting that in that conversation.
If you're telling me you spent how much did you spend on Jack Grealish? How much? If you're telling me you spent £100 million on a player that was gonna come every now and again and just grow his hair out and then get an assist, cool. Then City's just retarded, you know, like they're just dumb. But if you signed him, first of all, I disagree with him being a victim. You're a grown man. It's not like you didn't know what City was. No. It's not like you didn't know what you were getting.
Defend your statement of him being overrated. I want to see why he's overrated.
It's not like you didn't understand what you were getting into when you were going to City. You knew very well what Pep does, how his system works, and what he does to a player. Right? You knew that. You went for the sake of potentially winning more trophies. You knew that. You did not perform. Huh? Yeah, he did. Good to him.
He won trophies.
He'll win more trophies with City, absolutely. But he is not at all as good a player as people make it out to be. I do. But we can skip past this. It's Fernando Torres.
I feel like it's a bit harsh. I think he's more well known for like misses, but I still think he's a good player. Wow.
I
Wow.
didn't like see enough of him
Dude,
to make.
when I say I've got a million clips to make out of this pod. Like on a serious note, so for the viewers or the listeners, I anticipated finishing this around the 40th minute mark and having time to do a start bench sell, but we're not going to be doing that today. Maybe I'll just be taking into.
Get 1 or 2 in. I think we should get 1 or 2 in.
I think we'll do them and I'll upload them as clips that we'll make quickly. But I'm just going to wrap up this actual podcast, this video. It was great having you both on. It was very intense. Lots of crazy takes. And
I hope to be on
hopefully,
again.
huh? Of course,
I
of
hope to be
course.
coming back.
We'll be doing more of these type of podcasts where we have more fun
Yeah.
pods, bring some friends on. Of course, the return of my brothers on the new pod. The podcast is going to be coming up later this week. I'm still in Japan. But
Let us know if they
hopefully-
want an NBA pod.
oh yeah, also an NBA pod. We could do something like that as well. Start bench down. I had a lot of interesting Man U and Man City ones, but we will see you guys next time. It's been a good one. Bosh.